I'm Ella Weiss, president of the Brooklyn Arts Council. Tonight, we celebrate you, the artists of Brooklyn. It's for you that we're here. And I hope by the end of the evening, you know how much we appreciate all that you do. As a service organization, BAC works to address three core interrelated needs. Brooklyn artists need funding, career support, services and venues to perform and present their work. I'm sure you're going to say yes to that. Cultural organizations need to develop diverse audiences and meaningful connections to their community. A yes to that, I hope. And Brooklyn residents need affordable access to a wide variety of arts activities, and that's what you provide. As BAC addresses these needs in tandem, the results of our work adds up to a much larger whole. With your help, we create a borough that neighborhood by neighborhood supports and values the arts as well as different means of cultural expression. Together, we lay inroads for residents of all ages to enrich their lives through participation in the arts. We foster a more nuanced understanding and appreciations of different cultures among the astounding array of Brooklyn residents whose roots spread throughout the world. But we don't do it alone. I like to think of BAC as the matchmaker. We will use our resources, expertise, and relationships with other nonprofits, foundations, corporations, elected officials, and city agencies to connect artists and arts groups with opportunities. This year, we will provide funding to employ almost 200 artists and arts groups. We will put teaching artists in almost 40 schools and in 18 senior citizen centers. But tonight, for me, is more than just a grant ceremony. For me, tonight is bittersweet. For you, I hope, it is both exciting and rewarding. I have been privileged to preside over BAC's grant ceremonies for 16 years. Tonight is my last. And in those 16 years, I have seen enormous changes in our borough. I have watched many groups form, grow, and soar. Many individual artists go from fledgling to established, from a small studio in their apartment to a studio that's a real studio. I'm loath to mention names. You can always get into trouble when you do that. But when I look at the new generation of arts leaders, I cannot be but not only proud but grateful for having had the opportunity to mentor and learn from them as well as witness their dreams become a reality. I think of 2003 when Lynn Parkinson came to me and said she had an idea for a ballet company, Brooklyn Ballet. Well, now Brooklyn Ballet is just growing off the charts. I remember Laurie Cumbo in 1999 starting Makata and our working together, and now we call her Councilwoman Cumbo. And then Catherine Green came about 5 years ago from East New York, a very underserved, under-recognized neighborhood. And she started Arts East New York, and we've talked ever since. Through the years, I have marveled at the energy, creativity, and vision of you, our arts community. You have made Brooklyn the epicenter of the art world in New York City and the country. And for allowing me to participate in that, I am forever grateful. I thank you. To begin our formal program tonight, we have a very special group for you. They're called the Truth Worker Theater Company. They're receiving DCA funding. They're a social justice-based hip-hop theater company for high school and college-age youth based out of an art space called Jack in Fort Greene. These young performers receive rigorous theater and media training and the tools for them to develop into solution-driven citizens of the world. Led by director Samara Gaiv, Truth Worker is a safe place for people to be the subjects, not the objects of their stories. Tonight, the Truth Workers have prepared a piece especially for you that features highlights from two of their pieces, Barcode, a performative analysis of the school to prison pipeline, and in prison, boxed in and blacked out in America. Join me in welcoming to the stage the Truth Worker Theater Company.
Here, the sun will not stretch past barbed wire and security cameras. There is no brass struggling through asphalt, only steel bars and stolen strength. It is easy to be forgotten here. A number in an orange suit, a mistake, a menace. In the shadows of white picket fence dreams, you are a sickness, a blister, a bruise, 3/5 of a memory. Embrace the shackles. Become the bars that cage you in, young animal. For here, the sun will not stretch past barbed wire and security cameras.
New baby! Yo, kid, you got bars? Nah, he ain't got bars. Check me out. In this generation, we are known as the race on the brink of extinction. See now, the government stays shooting and killing minorities as if it was the devil's great dream. Funny how the red, white, and blue should stand by you, but seems to always chase behind you, racing you for successful, pushing you towards neglect. But a second chance of what you need to give for what you want in return. Unmask your soul. Grip your life. Stop putting it on hold and make things right. Don't wait until the bullets pierces your heart with no mercy. Lift your head and move on with life, my brothers and sisters. My words are meaningless to the rich, but worthy to the poor. I am just another black man that's been defeated by the system stuck in the 6x12. We got a black president, but it's still a white man's world. Barcode!
George Zimmerman found not guilty for murdering Trayvon Martin in cold blood. In this country, black and brown kids go to prison for life for selling drugs. While corporate suits walk down long hallways, killing our youth. Wake up, people! This ain't nothing new.
Let's talk about Sean Bell,
Amadou,
Kamani Gray,
and Emmett Till.
They say something out of the blue, but we blame white people, so we say screw you. Ain't that a contradiction?
Always striving to include, now to conclude. We gotta get smarter with our wordplay and not worry about the shades of gray.
Look for a brighter day, hope that the good don't fade away.
But they say what doesn't kill you make you stronger.
I don't know if my heart can fight any longer.
I don't know if my heart can fight any longer. I don't know if my heart can fight any longer.
But it's the law, so every citizen must obey the rules. Zimmerman lived by the gun, but Trayvon died by it too. Is it me as corruption, such an eruption, or surrounding me about to take me like an abduction? Pull me away from life like a vacuum with the force of 1,000 miles per hour of suction. My life seems meaningless to a murderer shot dead, leaving with nothing. I live for a purpose, live to set an example for the rich and even the worthless. Don't know why you pulled the trigger while so uncertain. Not just the trigger, but the life I was living.
Yo, pics on deck.
Convict! Step out the cell! This is a gun.
A what?
Yeah, you heard me.
I'm looking at one.
And as I've never seen, I'm surely gonna pull a trigger. My whole life has been a sick mixture. I was a victim, now I can't tell if I'm sicker than the bullies in the 3rd grade, all the way to freshman year. I couldn't deal with all the bruises, cuts, and all the tears. One day they jumped me after class, and the beat I was chosen to go straight home. But I never left the heat of the moment.
You see, I never had to prove I was tough. Through all these problems, I was never a fighter. I'd rather sit and solve them. But we live in a world where you're a punk if you don't throw the hands.
That night before I went to bed, I made the decision to show these bullies that I'm better than whatever they think is worthy of being a better man. The bully tried to touch me. I squeezed my fist until my knuckles were white. You could say he wasn't lucky. A punch in the chest, uppercut to the jaw, sucker punch in the nose, the giant falls to the floor. Ever since then, I never took name calling or threats. Better yet, I was becoming what I tied down. I never saw it coming, but I'm running out of time now. This may be the end of my whole life, so I just cry now. Looking in the mirror like, why God, do I die now? Is there a point to living if I'm ruining all these lives now?
What's the point of living, God? I think I'm going to die now. What's the point of living, God? I think I'm going to die now. I keep wondering why the tears in my eyes keep thundering. Feelings kept inside of my body, it keeps smothering and covering, dark clouds keep hovering. I'm trying to figure out why me, why I be suffering, why the devil gotta pick on me and my family. Bringing us down, locked up, let me be, I'm praying to God, asking him to give me the keys to this cage.
Set me free from this locked up dungeon. I'm done and enraged. It was made sure I failed. While I'm dead or in jail. Was born a color not white, and even worse, I'm a male. This is my life, my pain, the destiny I was given. It's not a joke nor fake this life I'm actually living. I hope you learn. A new system you will create. Because bound by chains or ashes in an urn can be your fate.
Mealtime, ladies.
Yo, I didn't get my tray.
Yes, you did.
Nah, man, I didn't get my food.
Yes, you did.
Yo, I deserve to eat.
Deserve to eat? You deserve to eat like my friend deserved to die by your hands, Jarvis?
And you know I didn't kill your friend. You know I didn't sharpen that knife.
Nonsense!
Surrendering to the human hopelessness, it does not despair me. For life needs no more despair. I pray to turn a situation as bad as mine into an opportunity to be of some benefit, to transcend my present circumstances, to transform everything around me into something almost radiant.
Boom, 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 banging, constant, robbing, consistent, bang, bang, my mind, I lose it, broken pieces, shit, I'm bleeding, silence kills me, noises scare me, darkness lights me, I don't know me, can you help me, hold me, heal me, save me, love me, please don't leave me, something more to stop my mind and everything just dies, something more to stop my mind and everything just dies. Who sharpened the knife?
Who did? Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who killed that guard? You have been sentenced to solitary confinement. Systematic policies and conditions of control and pressure. Use the isolation and glue.
Confined behind a star steel door for 23 hours a day.
Limited contact with another human being.
Infrequent phone calls with non-contact ammunition. Extremely limited access to rehabilitative and educational programs.
Grossly inadequate medical and mental health. Physical torture such as
Hard time.
restraint chairs.
And forced cell extraction. Mental torture such as sensory deprivation.
Permanent bright lighting and extreme temperature. Insomnia.
And sexual intimidation and violence.
Who sharpened the knife?
Who did it? Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who sharpened the knife?
Who killed that guard?
Who killed that guard?
Night's bright stars, celebrating life's dreams. As peace sits still.
You are amazing, absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming tonight. That's what this is all about. It's about the support that we can give to artists who are growing and using art to communicate. So we thank them so much for sharing with us this very, very powerful theater piece. We have someone here tonight who's hosting us who is no stranger to the scene we just saw. And I'm particularly glad that he was able to be here to see this piece of art. As a former member of the New York City Police Department, he's all too well aware of what these youngsters were talking about. But as borough president, he's taken his mission much further. He's used this platform to promote the arts, to promote affordable housing, to promote strikes against hunger and poverty. He's used this platform to become a leader of a borough that is going places but now is going farther with him at its helm. We are thrilled to be invited to host our ceremony here tonight and to have with us our host and the honorary chair of our board, our very, very honorable Borough President, Eric Adams.
Thank you so much. You grace my presence by being here in the building. I say over and over again, when we have folks come here, we indicate that this is not my house, this is your house, and you should use it as often as possible. When you purchase that loaf of bread and pay the taxes, you're paying the heat here. When you buy some gasoline, you're paying the heat here. So you pay the rent. So use this building to display your art. Take down those old tired faces that are on the wall and put some art that's reflective of the people that make up this borough. You know, so this is the place to be. This is a great moment, and that I was mesmerized by the skit that was just played, and you really just really have an appreciation for what Ella has done over the years by awakening the artistic expression inside our young people. And it's more than just the grants, the ceremony we do here. This is the conclusion of this phase of her life, but she had, and she will continue to have, many lives where she's going to be a part of the Brooklyn experience. And we really appreciate what she has done. Because prior to her arrival and prior to her commitment, the thought of finding creative ways of allowing everyday artists to express themselves, it was not done. We basically localized the artistic expression in Brooklyn to one location, and we can't have that. She was bold enough not to embrace the anti-Christopher Columbus theory, believing if she leaves downtown, she's going to fall off the planet. The globe is round. And she traveled along the globe and didn't remain on the shores and say that I can't go further. Going into East New York and Bay Ridge and Brownsville and allowing people to do things artistically all over the borough is amazing. The common denominator to the evolution of Brooklyn and the city of New York lies in the hands of the artists. When you allow artists to go into a community and allow people to express themselves, it turns around the community from Soho to Dumbo to Crown Heights, to Prospect Park, the literature, the movie, the paintings, the drawing, the sculptures, all over the borough. We saw the revitalization in Brooklyn because of the artists, doing it their way, not being confined and restricted to a person's ethnicity or lifestyle or how much he or she makes. It was all about honing your craft, and I appreciate that, and that's what Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs for you to take us to another direction and another place. Little children will not beat each other up in McDonald's if they had a safe space to find creativity. And so we have an awesome challenge. We have an awesome challenge. These grants for the arts grants that you're getting today, these are taxpayers' dollars that we are levying to have something great come from you. and choosing the individuals based on what you give and what you represent. And as you look over the audience, you see the reflection of the diversity of this borough. Nothing makes my heart more heavy that the overwhelming number of Brooklynites continue to live in silos. All they know is who they know that looks like them. If people would just explore the joy of being able to just see the beauty of this borough. And one day I sit down with the Azerbaijan community, the next hour I'm with the Chinese community, the next day I'm sitting in the sukkah, the next hour I'm talking to people that's eating the roti. I can pinch myself and see the joy of just being around different groups and different people. There's nothing more Shakespearean of the tragedy nature that with all of this diversity in Brooklyn, people want to stay on their own block, in their own heads, in their own corner of this great place called Brooklyn. That is a darn shame, and we need to break out of our silos and explore what Brooklyn has to offer on every level. And you know that better than anyone because you are artists, and artists cannot be restricted. All you know is to go beyond the boundaries and push the boundaries. And so I want to give my friend Ella Weiss this proclamation for her dedication and commitment to the people of the borough of Brooklyn and all the artistry that she has brought with it. And if I can just read the last paragraph, I have artistic glasses with diamonds on the side. Whereas on behalf of all Brooklynites, I salute Ella J. Weiss for her diligent labor and involvement in education, the arts, and community affairs, expanding programs and bringing stability and leadership to the Brooklyn Arts Council, enhancing its partnerships with borough, city, and state agencies. And she shake us down for money, too, you know. I applaud her exemplary leadership efforts, which have propelled the Arts Council to become a prominent force on the cultural scene. I commend Ella for her previous service as an assistant vice president for college relations at Brooklyn College, executive director of the Office Alumni Affairs, and the director of community relations and audience development for Brooklyn Center for the Performing Arts at Brooklyn College, and for contributing to and expanding the creative heritage of our beloved borough. I thank her for all that she has done to touch and improve the lives of many, helping to move our communities forward as one Brooklyn. Signed, therefore, I, Eric Adams, the borough of the baddest borough on the globe, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
We're gonna get a picture, Ella. Yeah, come on.
Wow. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so very much for that. To go on, I'm a little bit speechless after that. You know, what I've done has been not a labor of love, but a joy. So thank you so much. The Brooklyn Arts Council is made up of many parts. I'm only one little part of it. And as with all organizations and all dynamic organisms, there's a leader at the helm, somebody who really charts the course and takes us forward. And we are so fortunate at the Brooklyn Arts Council to have, as the captain of our ship, somebody with a wealth of experience in the arts, but also an enormous amount of experience in leadership and vision. And so I've been very grateful for these 16 years to have as my boss and to have as the head of the board of the Brooklyn Arts Council, the very, very special Dr. Thomas Schutte, president of Pratt Institute.
Thank you very much, Ella, and thank you very much, Eric, for that phenomenal commentation on Ella. It's hard to follow all of this and be not emotional. First, I just want to say that Ella has been a tireless servant. It's going to be difficult without Ella. I remember all that we went through to find Ella, and all the help that we got to find Ella, and all that we needed in Ella to be the leader. And she has gone way beyond where we ever expected. And the day that she announced that she was going to step down, that it was time for her to retire, I asked her whether that was really real and whether or not there was any way to reconvince her. And there wasn't any way, but we will find ways to keep in touch with Ella. And one of the things, Eric, that you said that I think is one of the hallmarks of the administration that you led, Ella, is that you indeed led the Brooklyn Arts Council through the entire borough of Brooklyn. And what you did was to not only lead us into phenomenal diversity and believable diversity, but what you did also was to move us geographically throughout the borough. And I think doing those things meant so much for the Brooklyn Arts Council. And I think that we are at our point now where we have never been as diverse and never been as geographically dispersed as we are now. And we've got the momentum to continue this and keep it going because the potential is just phenomenal. So thank you, Ella, for what you have done. You've done another thing that's been phenomenal for the Brooklyn Arts Council, and that is you have helped us expand and lead our board. Yes, I'm the chairman of the board, but we have 18 directors and or trustees of the Brooklyn Arts Council who give of themselves so willingly, so diligently to support the Brooklyn Arts Council, to help us raise money for funds that will enable us to give awards to leaders and artists and kids and so forth throughout the community, but to keep us on our feet and also to enable us to do the kinds of projects and programs that are oriented for the people of Brooklyn. And so we're excited because we're on a tremendous pathway, and you've led us to that pathway, and we've got a lot of momentum. And thank you again, Ella, for what you have done. And the 18 trustees, all of us have a very close relationship and rapport with one another. You have helped us, Ella, in terms of identifying and enabling so many prospective trustees to become trustees and elected to the board, and helping us discover these individuals. We've got one right now who's going to be elected momentarily, and she's sitting in on us, watching us today, and also giving us, obviously, some praise for where we are moving and where we are going. So it's been phenomenal. We're giving out close to $300,000 today to people throughout the borough of Brooklyn who have been leaders in the arts, who have won awards and prizes in the arts. And these individuals range from kids to middle-aged, to teenagers, to adults, to senior citizens, and so forth. So the diversity of that list of awardees that you will be seeing tonight in a few moments is just phenomenal. And this is all because of the Brooklyn Arts Council, our commitment to the arts and the support of Brooklyn, and also to the leadership, to our trustees, and to leaders like Ella. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Schutte. It has been mentioned that we're here to give out money, yes. Yes. And money comes from someplace. It doesn't just grow on trees. We all know that. So at the council, we are so privileged to have partners who allow us to do this. We have a partner in the New York State Council on the Arts, where they have allocated money that we in Brooklyn can then disperse to you, the arts community. We're thrilled with that partnership because it allows us to really go into the borough and the depths of the borough, as has been mentioned. There's a person, again, who leads that ship. We have many ships and captains with us tonight. People who just help us do what we do, because we don't do it alone. None of us do anything alone. We always do it together with other people. And at the head of the New York State Council on the Arts, there's a woman who believes passionately in this decentralization idea that giving out money at the very local levels is incredibly important to the growth of the arts community, not only in Brooklyn, but for her it's for the whole state. But for me, it's Brooklyn. And so we're thrilled to have with us tonight the person who helps us make this happen, who's always available. We have Leanne with us, who we call all the time and have many questions for, and we thank her for that. And then we have, of course, the captain of their ship, Lisa Robb, the executive director of the New York State Council on the Arts.
I promise I will be as brief as possible. Many congratulations to all of those in the room tonight who are going to be stewarding this public money, because in keeping with what the Borough President Adams talked about, I thank you and all of us here in government work, thank you, the taxpayer, for the funds that are allocated to this department. We know that these small and mid-sized grants make a really big difference to making sure that all those that are interested in arts, cultural, and heritage activities at their local level, at the, it could be traveling to a very different neighborhood you're in Brooklyn, it could be a tourist being served by the programs that you're doing, so who aren't you serving? And we like to think of this program as part of our motto, which is who aren't we serving? These 48 grants that come from this $92,000 of public money are part of a $2 million portfolio that issues about 1,500 grants, very similar to these grants all over the state to serve local communities. And then the rest of the money that your taxes are funding fund another 2,000 grants for organizations that don't also come into that grant portfolio. This is a very large number of artists and arts organizations, almost 3,500 grants out, making sure that these public dollars are reaching people where they are working, living, and playing related to arts, culture, heritage. So we thank all of you. I also want to take time to thank the panelists. One of the reasons why arts, culture, heritage money is so squeaky clean and can take any type of transparency lens that you want to put on us is that our applications are deliberated by the public. We use experts in arts, culture, heritage, individuals who are paid for or volunteer their time to review these applications. Are any of the panelists with us today? If you are, could you raise your hand? Thank you all. Thank you all for your service. Thank you all for your service to the public and the arts community. So there are hundreds of these individuals that at New York State Council on the Arts and at the DEC sites are working hard to make sure that your tax monies are serving the best and serving people where they are. Thank you very much. And Ella, I'm not allowed to lobby. No. But boy, there is work for you in statewide lobbying for arts, culture, heritage, because he was not kidding. And Eddie, our colleague from DCA, will soon know this too. He's newer at this than we are. She is so good at the ask. It's like the velvet glove, and you don't really know what is hit, what have I agreed to, and it works. It works for the whole field. It works for the arts field, it works for Brooklyn, and she is a mentor to so many other arts agencies in the state doing what she's doing. So it's a big thank you for Ella, and it's a big thank you to you who are the people and organizations that she really cares most about. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lisa. Many years ago, a young man came to see me I was still in our offices in the War Memorial in Cadman Plaza Park in the basement. And he called me up and he said, I'm new to the Ford Foundation, and I just need to learn a little bit more about the arts in Brooklyn. And I said, sure. So we went to my office, which was really in the Park Plaza Diner, because I didn't really have an office. And we had whatever we had, and we chatted. And that began, and it's probably close to 16 years ago, our friendship and relationship. I have watched as he has grown and gone from Ford to Rockefeller, and now he's the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs. So it is for me a very personal privilege and pleasure to introduce to you somebody that I have worked with all these years, who I followed, and he's followed me, I guess, and together we have formed a friendship that I know will go beyond tonight. So please help me welcome the dear friend of the arts in all those capacities, but right now the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs, Edwin Torres.
Thank you so much, Ella. And in terms of what we had, you had chocolate milk with ice cubes in them. I remember that to this day because I'd never seen that before. I haven't seen it since. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say, I've been so privileged to get to work with Ella all this time. And at the Department of Cultural Affairs, we're beginning this effort to support diversity in the field of arts and culture. And one of the people that we had in to speak with us was Ella. And we were talking about the challenge of attracting and retaining, in a place as culturally diverse as New York City, young people of color. And Ella was really concerned about this in terms of her own staff, and she said, it's a real challenge, because I've only have, on my staff, I don't go around asking, but it's about like 7 people of color on my entire staff, And I said, well, how large is your staff? And I won't get the exact numbers, right? But she said, well, only 7 out of, 16. And I said, that's half. That's half your staff. That's fantastic. That's great, Ella. And she said, it's not half. Half would be 8. And that refusal to let herself off the hook, that refusal to give herself a pat on the back in a moment like that is just so typical of Ella. I thought that was so inspiring, where anybody else would have said, would have spiked the ball. She actually looked at that as a moment of self-critique and as a moment of saying, you know what, we have to rally together and to do better, I just want to say we are so proud to be able to be supporters of your work in whatever small way, and we have been so privileged to work with Ella all this time, and we look forward to remaining in touch, Ella. Thank you so much. Thank you.
By the way, through the Department of Cultural Affairs, we will be giving out over $190,000 in almost 100 grants. So we are thrilled, and thank you for that partnership. The grants process, as Lisa mentioned, is a very transparent one. We do have panels, and we have an application, and we have seminars all over the borough. We do all kinds of things to try to help people win these grants. But it doesn't happen just like that because we say it should. It happens because we have, as the director of this program, somebody who is so incredibly passionate about what she does that she leaves no stone unturned. And we also consider her our organizer. Her name is Morgan, and we call her the Morganizer because she can make sure that anything we do is better organized than it was the day before. But in doing that, she helps you because she makes sure that the applications are clear. She makes sure that the panelists have what they need. She makes sure that she and her staff are available to you when you need her so that you can be reviewed and you can have the best chance possible to be sitting here tonight as a recipient of a grant. We are extremely grateful for all that she does, and I am privileged to work with her. Please help me thank and welcome Morgan Tacho.
you, everybody. Hi. Wow, look at all of you. This is, the first time, right, where, I mean, we've been emailing for, 4 months or 6 or a year or something? It's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you all for coming and helping each other celebrate the awesome work that you do. I am, of course, here for the reading of the names. And we will do that. But I hope you'll allow me to have a few lines of thanks first. First, as Ella mentioned, of course, no one does this alone. My staff at Brooklyn Arts Council, my colleagues are absolutely phenomenal. They are there when you need them. Many times when you think that you don't, and then you're like, oh my God, yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I needed. They're amazing. 2 people in particular that I have to thank, and I hope you will join me in thanking Azure Osborne-Lee and Sophie Kurtz, our associate and assistant, respectively. They're so good that, like, I can't even, I only take credit for getting us all together. They are phenomenal, phenomenal artists in their own right, phenomenal administrators, and I hope I am proud to say friend. Thank you. And thank you, Azure. I also want to thank, as Lisa gratefully did also, our panelists. They are the unsung heroes of this process. This year we brought together 75 of the borough's culture makers to make these funding decisions on behalf of the Brooklyn Arts Council. And so if you are here, I ask that you please stand, and we will all thank you. Come on. Thank you. And even if you're in the community room, please stand. Thank you. And so, our grantees, you. This year, our grantee list always is, we have 149 robust, amazing projects from Greenpoint to Bay Ridge to East New York to Dumbo. And I'm not even going to go into the diversity of the projects and the perspectives and the aesthetic and the disciplines. It's incredible, and you beyond live up to the now international term Brooklyn artist, right? You're amazing, and also an interesting fact this year: almost half of you are new to our program. So welcome, welcome to the Bach family. I want to say, in one of my conversations this year with when we give panel feedback to our applicants, I was speaking to one person who had received funding before, but unfortunately did not this year. It was a very gracious and actually an awesome conversation, to which she concluded the conversation. Wow, I really hope that last year we came in as new grantees, and I really hope that all of those artists who did get funded are able to take the money and, and grow as much as we did with it. And I was like, well, that's amazing. But also, that is to say, even the ones that didn't get funded are on your side. We're all on your side. We're rooting for you. Use it well. And just like family, we are a little crazy. We are at our best when we are all trying our best, and we are here for you. And with that, I will read the names. I will read the names alphabetically as they are in the program, and I ask grantees, as you read the names, if you are able, please stand, and so that your fans can hold the applause, the air horns, the glitter bombs until the end. But as I read your name, please stand. Let me get this massive list. The 2015 Brooklyn Arts Council grantees: Adam Golub and Gayatri Kaul, Ilushi Mistry, Aisha Cousins, Alexander Torres, Alexis Powell, Alphabet Arts, Anne LaFond, Annie Fergus, Apogee Journal, April Moscas, Arts Gowanus, Bailey's Cafe. You all can stand and just accept it. Accept the love. Bailey's Cafe, Batala NYC, Becca Goda, Belinda McGuire Dance Projects, Bonfire Radio, Brian Kavanaugh, Brooklyn Accordion Club, Brooklyn Art Incubator, Brooklyn Players Community Theater, Brooklyn Youth Company, Built for Collapse, Karen Atlas Art and Democracy Project, Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium, Christina Antonakos Wallace, Christina Noel and the Creature, Colt Core Theater Company, Connection Works, Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, Dariel James, Dave Powell, David Jeu, Deborah Monlux, Desipina and Company, Dishman and Company Choreography, Drama of Works, Elia and Josh Bisker Super Fun Variety Show, Feed Your Mind Music, Fresh Ground Pepper NYC, Gary Glazner, Dewan Hong, Gen Space NYC, Grace Corral of Brooklyn, Green Earth Poets Cafe, Hamid Ramanyan, Hazuki Akawa, Heather Hart, Heels on Wheels, Hekima Hapa, Interference Archive, Isabel Garbani, Iviva Olenek, Jadel McPherson, Jamie Benson, Jeff Newell and Resurrection Clinton Hill and Jeff Newell's New Trad Quartet, Jennifer Wade, Joel Harrison, Jonathan Allen, Joshua Davis, Julia Steele Allen, KS Gem Dance Troupe, Catherine Gressel, Catherine Tukey, Katie Pyle and the Ballets, Cowtef School of African Dance, Lane Sell, Lava, Brooklyn, Leila Amatullah Bahrain, Little Lord, Made in Brownsville, Mara Meyer, Mauricio Morales for El Paper Magazine, Michael Golub, Mano Noawar, Musuke Basane, Myrtle Avenue Revitalization Project, National Choreography Month, Nathan Trice, National Theater for Student Artists, National Youth Organization of Pakistan, Neil Clark, New Brooklyn Theater, New York Art Residency and Studios Foundation, or NARS, Only Child Aerial Theater, Or Zublowski, Parlay Entertainment and Faricio Jordan, Persephone DaCosta, Pixie Yun Yilao, PLG Arts, Project 59, Proteus Gowanus, Quest Youth Organization, Real Sisters of the Diaspora, Regina Opera Company, Renegade Performance Group, Ricardo Harmonica Man, Ross Carlisle, Samara Gayev Truthworker Theater Company, Shapeshifter Plus, Shoestring Press, Singing Winds, Sister Sylvester, Sisters with Purpose, Smith Street Stage, Steve Kosman, Stephen Ladd, Stoops, Talia Bravo, Tammy Stronach Dance, Textile Art Center, the Brooklyn Film Shop, the Forum Project, the Invisible Dog Art Center, the People Movers, the Sonic Room, the Women Beatmakers Conference, the Writers Studio, Kids Write, Tiffany Mills Company, Todd Shalom and Nigel Smith, Elastic City, Triangle Arts Association, United Community Centers, Walk of Art, Whole Lotta Productions, Williamsburg Art Nexus, With Food in Mind, Women Writers in Bloom Poetry Salon, curated by J.P. Howard, Yasmin Mystery, YK Hong, and Yo E Ru. Congratulations. Please join me in congratulating the 2015 Brooklyn Arts Council grantees. Congratulations, everyone. Okay. Congratulations, everyone. I love seeing all of you standing. And nobody had any glitter bombs, huh? Interesting. There is one other thing I would be remiss to not mention, and Ella doesn't know this, so she's kind of freaking out over there. The staff of Brooklyn Arts Council, of course, has to thank Ella J. Weiss. As you all know, Ella will be rewiring this year. I'm going to steal Kay Turner's phrase, rewiring. This is her final grant ceremony. I have learned many, many, many things from Ella Weiss over the last 7 years. I started at Brooklyn Arts Council as a part-time temporary administrative assistant in the year 2008. I didn't talk to Ella for like 3 years. I frankly wouldn't even be able to go into all of the things that I have learned from her. She is certainly a person, and as a woman administrator, as a woman businesswoman, it's really, really important to have a mentor who teaches you that no one says no to you. Right? Thank you, Ella. But I will say, she also taught me that I can be a numbers person. What? And I did a little bit of research, and since the year 2000, so the last 15 years, now mind you, we haven't had an organization for 16, so I only dug up since 2000, all right? Ella J. Weiss has signed at least 5,653 re-grant checks. And since the year 2000, that estimated is over $10 million that Ella has allocated in cultural funding. Thank you, Ella, and thank you, everybody. Give it to Mike.
Give it to Mike. Give it to Mike. That's what I always say. Give it to Mike. Oh, how gorgeous. How absolutely beautiful. Oh. Wow. Thank you, Morgan. And thank you to the whole staff of the Brooklyn Arts Council. It was later on in my comments, but I'm going to do it right now because it's appropriate. They are the most dedicated, the most incredible people to work with. And my leaving was a very hard decision for me to make, partly because of them. I go to work every day, looking at them work hard, come up with great ideas, solve problems, and they make my day go quickly and lightly, and even when there are a few little hiccups, they're always there. They're always there supportive of not only you, but also of me. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I can be, as they have told me, maybe demanding, but fair. I may get a little excited about certain things sometimes, but they understand why. But they're always there behind me and in front of me and alongside me to help do what we do. I don't do it by myself. They're there, and I hope during the reception later you get a chance to really talk to our staff and thank them for what they do every single day. They are the best that there could be in the world. Thank you so much, everybody. I also want to thank and recognize the board members who are here tonight. We have Peter Eskenazi and Michelle Arbini and Ellen Gottlieb, and Malik Sassis is here, and of course Dr. Schutte, our chair, and Fraser Holloway right over there. And did I get them all? Yes, thank you. They are so much of what we do. I'd also give a big shout out to some of tonight's sponsors, obviously the borough president, but also a sponsor of our whole grant program and the ceremony tonight, Metro Plus Health Plan. And I'd like to especially thank Gail Smith, who has an old friend, but we reconnected, Gail, and Roger Milner and Elena Florentino for all that they did to help us with tonight's ceremony. And you're going to have a chance, what? You want to say? Yes, yes, yes. But I want you to know that later on when you go downstairs, they have some very interesting information for you. And so please take advantage of the fact that they are here tonight. Gail?
This is not about Metro Plus. This is really about Ella. I would be remiss if I was not here tonight. When you say that she's demanding, that's a good thing, because so am I. So I learned well. But what I would like to say is that I've known Ella and her better half, Mike, for close to 30 years. So we've been around the block a few times in the neighborhood that was called Flatbush, but now it's Ditmas Park, Midwood, and all that good stuff. But we've been together for many, many years, and I had the opportunity of meeting both of them when they were very active in the Flatbush Development Corporation, and I was asked to join FDC. And Ella is a phenomenal woman, and I'm just so pleased to be here just to be a part of this ceremony, and naturally to thank all of you artists, but to thank Ella for everything she does. And when we reconnected recently at a meeting a couple of years ago, the first thing she says is like, I think Metro Plus can do something with BAC. So she came to my office, we spoke about it, and voila, we were able to do something. So this is our second year, but I just want to congratulate you, Ella, and BAC, and naturally all of the artists. Thank you.
I want to also thank the people who are going to feed us tonight. Whole Foods Market on 3rd Avenue, Stephanie Long and Danielle Mack, they have donated all of the food for tonight. So please eat well and enjoy it, and go to Whole Foods on 3rd Avenue. I also want to thank my husband, who's been mentioned here and there, but who I could not do this without. He is my friend, my husband of over 50 years, but more than that, he shares with me a passion, and I couldn't do what I do without his being behind me and saying, go, 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 get it, get it. And so, Michael, thank you so much. And he's taking home the orchids, except he's going on the subway. So we'll figure that out later. We have for you another very special performance. This is an art ceremony, obviously. Batala. Batala, New York City is a recipient of both NYSCA and DCA funding, and they're part of a global arts project under the name Batala, New York City. They're a homegrown band and the only all-woman Afro-Brazilian samba reggae percussion band in the Northeast. I got it. Started in 2012 by artistic director Stacy Kovacs, Batala, New York City provides a space for women drummers of all musical abilities to learn to drum and dance. The New York City chapter has grown to 85 women strong. We don't have them all tonight. We only have some. Please help me welcome Batala, New York City. Woo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. What a way to go. Fabulous. Thank you so much. That was fabulous. Batala. I'm sure we'll see more of you. Batala. Well, now that we've all gotten energized and been up and dancing and listening and thinking we maybe would need a drum in our hands as well, I know you're here also to collect your checks. So I didn't forget. Wanted you to know you can pick them up downstairs in the community room. You can have some refreshments and beverages, etc., or you can go get your check first, whichever way you like it. It's your call. They're in alphabetical order. By the way, you put your name on your application so that you get in the right line. During the reception, while we're all drinking and eating and having a great time, we'll be, again, the recipient of some wonderful music. Tiger Paw is joining us from the Women's Beatmaker Conference. She's a DJ. She's funded through our DCA program, and she's a multidisciplinary artist. She's not only a DJ, she's a graphic designer, a video editor, a music producer, and her Jamaican ancestry and New York City upbringing have fused her style into something she dubs future slow jams, where she blends 90s R&B with futuristic vibes unique to her story. Now, if you know what that is, you're good. But you will know what it is after you go to the reception. I want to thank you all for all the kind words. It's been overwhelming, to say the least. I want to thank you for allowing me to share these moments of recognition of your work and efforts. Keep leading us to newer and greater things, as you are the heart and soul of Brooklyn. And you represent a force that adds joy and amazement to the lives of the residents of our borough and beyond. I can't tell you how grateful I am for having shared all this with you. Congratulations, and upward and onward to Brooklyn and the arts. Thank you so much.